Hello, everybody. You know me by now. I'm Anna K. Morris, the Chief of Sparkle at We Play Everywhere. And I am so excited to have Jessica Procini or Procini.
Procini.
Procini. I knew I would mess that up. From Laugh Yourself Skinny. And that's right. We have somebody from We Play Everywhere and Laugh Yourself Skinny talking to you today. So it's going to be... What'd you say?
It's a match made in heaven.
It is. It is. I'm so excited. Thank you for being here, Jess. And I want people to know, what is Laugh Yourself Skinny? Like, that's a hilarious name, first of all.
Well, I'll give you my more official title. I am an emotional eating coach.
Okay.
So what Laugh Yourself Skinny does is really support women in putting food back as fuel instead of using it as comfort, stress relief, or anxiety management. So it's really, Laugh Yourself Skinny helps women heal their relationship with food and really looking at food and our relationship to it as something that's enjoyable, pleasurable, and most of all, fun.
Oh, I love that. Well, and for you guys watching, please, she works with women, and this applies to you too. So I just want to put that in there, right? Yes. Okay, so it's the holidays, right? Like, Thanksgiving is right around the corner. Christmas, I don't know about you, but I'm already watching Hallmark Christmas movies and seeing all the delicious things. In fact, right next to me, I have a Starbucks pumpkin latte that is way too sweet. I cannot believe that I used to drink them. It's been years since I had one, and I've just felt like really drawn to one today. And I'm like choking all the sugar down. So maybe that's not part of Laugh Yourself Skinny, but it's funny because like there's such a nostalgia around the holiday, especially when it comes to food. And without further ado, let's just go ahead and dive in. Like, how do you find a sense of playfulness and humor when it comes to this time of year?
Well, I think, it would be helpful if we really defined what playing and specifically playing with food really means. Because when you and I were first talking about, like, I want you to teach them how to play with food, like, I was imagining that we would be, like, taking mashed potatoes and, like, smashing them with our hands, smashing them on our face, and, like, being, like, a kid again. Like,
well, we had an interview, and the whole interview, the last one that we did about food was about eating with your hands. So yes, we've done that.
which is there is validity in that.
Yeah.
I want to go deeper today, and I really want to talk about almost like the spirit and the essence of playing with food, and really the spirit and the essence of what Laugh Yourself Skinny is all about.
Yeah.
And what is at the root of it all is love. So when we think of our relationship with food, whether it's the holidays, whether it's any time of year, a lot of times, specifically for people who are stress eaters, comfort eaters, emotional eaters, overeaters, there's a lot of fear that is wrapped up in their relationship with food.
Yeah.
And even nostalgia, like the root of that is based in fear. It's based in, I only get to eat pumpkin spice lattes or drink pumpkin spice lattes one time of year.
Yeah.
I used to do these all the time. They used to make me feel so good. Let me just have one. Let me just do it.
Yeah.
And then you do it, and exactly your experience is like, I didn't really want this. Like, I wanted the feeling that came along with the pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to have a sugar rush and then a crash and feel like crap and bloated and whatever else that, over sugary drink might do for you. But we really have to like come back to center when it comes to food and really look at it from a place of, is this rooted in love? Is this rooted in truth? Is this rooted in supporting my vessel, my container for my soul, which is our bodies?
Yeah, I was definitely not asking myself that question when when I got the pumpkin spice latte.
No offense to like pick on your pumpkin spice latte, but the same thing goes like if anyone's mom or grandma makes like pumpkin cheesecake one time of year, and it's like the thing
this
that
is
everyone
the time
eats.
Yeah.
And what we we end up doing is we just override. We override our body's like little whisper of like, I don't really want that pumpkin cheesecake. I'm already full. And we override that fullness factor, especially around the holidays, especially around feasts, and especially around like parties and things like that, because we kind of just operate from this space of there's so much food. I only do this once a year. Like, let me just go hog wild.
Yeah.
And like, but this is your body that we're talking about. Like, this is like you have to live with those consequences. Like, you have to live with the afterthought. You have to live with the aftermath. Whether that's a food coma, a food hangover, or even just a hangover if you're drinking too much. Like, there are repercussions to how you eat and how you live. And if you're operating from a space of fear or lack, or I only get this once, like, let me just have my fun, then you're going to reap the negative effects of that. But I think we also need to up-level our definition of fun. Like, our definition of fun and indulgence, if it's in indulgence, you know, it's we have to have those food hangovers and food comas. Like, is being in a food coma really fun? Like, is that really enjoyable for someone?
Yeah.
And, like, we really have to think about that, because for me, like, my definition of fun is when I'm feeling good, I'm happy, I'm not fearful, I'm not stuck in my head, I'm not overthinking things, I'm eating when I'm full and hungry, and, you know, just really monitoring, like, what's going on with my body and not overdoing it. Like, that's more fun than, like, having a couple extra, like, bites of chocolate cake and then getting into a food coma.
Well, and I think the thing that shows up for me in what you're saying is that it's not necessarily that it's fun, but it's so familiar. So how do you, like, find that kind of, like, lightheartedness, right? Or like, breaking the pattern when it's just like, man, it's just like you drive the tire tracks the same way in the forest, like constantly. It's just so automatic.
The default.
Yeah, it's like you don't even realize that you're doing it. And then I'm like, oh yeah, wow, like I totally got that latte, just to use it as the interview needs it. But like I got that because it's totally nostalgic. It's what my mom used to get. And like I'm really missing her right now.
Yeah.
You know? So
and that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right. We fall into those default patterns. And the way to get out of it is pretty simple.
Okay.
Or just literally 2 words or 3 words. It's a choice to be conscious. Okay. So like the only way you can wake up from a default mechanism or habit, whether it's pumpkin spice lattes or cookies, is to actually be conscious of what you're doing. So like you had that moment when you were like, I got this drink and I don't even know why I bought this because it's so sugary.
Yeah.
So like there's that consciousness awareness that like there's a misalignment with you and the pumpkin spice latte. And what you also discovered was that you didn't really want the pumpkin spice latte. What you wanted was to feel loved because you're missing your mom.
Yeah, totally.
Basically, in a nutshell.
Yeah, and my mom's not gone, by the way. I know that sounded like she's deceased. Like, she lives 3 hours away. I'll see her tomorrow.
Yeah. And it doesn't necessarily, you know, I guess the details of it don't necessarily matter, but it was like there's a misconnection. There's almost like a cross of your wires in your brain saying like, pumpkin spice lattes will bring me closer to mom, but in reality, it doesn't. You know, you actually really think about it. So in order to like wake us up from those defaults, because they put us in a fog, is to really make a choice to be conscious about what we're putting in our bodies.
Yeah, it really is so true. You know, I have a friend that is so brave and like walking away from a family ranching business. because it's not in alignment with what she believes from a food perspective.
That's huge.
It's huge. It's huge. And I mean, there's so much wrapped up in our families and like what we eat and are supposed to eat and like the way that people show us love. Right. So I guess, for the sake of time, because we're committed that this be brief so that people can get on with their holidays, is like, how do you honor the people that love you, that may make you things that you used to love and maybe you don't want to have? Like, how do you do that gracefully and playfully, without like upsetting people or
So what I really always recommend to my clients is communication. Like communicating with that person that, number one, you love them, whether you eat their like cake or cookies or whatever they made for you, is that you love them and that you're grateful to be spending time with them.
Yeah.
And then you can also exercise the gracious not right now. And I just did a video about like how to get your family support with word for word scripts on what to say to your family. Link so you could include it, but literally I gave like 2 scripts of like what to say to family that's supportive and what to say to family that's not so supportive.
Okay.
So like literally it's about standing up for yourself, whether you want to eat the cake or not, or whatever it is, whatever that food item is. It's really getting clear on like what is in alignment with you.
I love that.
Communicate from a place of love rather than from a place of like resentment or anger or like, oh, you're so stupid, Grandma. Like, I don't want to eat your fucking cake. Like we don't want to come like that, but you
Please
also
don't do
don't
that.
have to eat something that isn't in alignment with you. And because it's not fun. Like, it's not fun to be eating things that your body doesn't want to be eating.
Yeah. I love that. Awesome. So on that note, go out and have a wonderful, wonderful holiday, all you playful people. And just check in. Like, what I'm really hearing from you, Jess, is just like keep checking in and keep checking in. And, maybe you do have some of the cake, but it's like a couple of bites. It's not the whole thing. It's not like triple, servings or whatever. Like maybe it's just, 1 plate and that's enough.
Yeah. And I think the greatest love or greatest play that you can have is with yourself, not with other people, literally in your relationship with yourself. And making sure that you're coming from a playful, loving place rather than fear, doubt, stress, and attachment.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. Thank you. Check Jess out at Laugh Yourself Skinny. You can find us at We Play Everywhere, and we will be back next week. Bye, everybody. Bye, Jess. Thank you so much.
Thank you.